So my name is Rohan Ghosh. I work for the Brookfield Asset Management in the India real estate team, and I have the pleasure of being your host this morning. We are gathered here to mark the occasion of listing of Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. Brookfield India Real Estate Trust is a 14 million square feet portfolio of pretty high-grade, high-quality real estate assets located in key gateway cities across the country. We are very happy to bring this issue to the public markets and are very proud of this moment and occasion today. Brookfield India Real Estate Trust is managed by an extremely talented and high-quality management team that brings to fore, really, Brookfield's expertise as a global but also as a local manager. Brookfield entered India in 2009, and today we have circa $17 billion under management, representing our commitment and our deep interest in building and developing a business here in India. We've announced some marquee transactions, such as a $2 billion acquisition of marquee assets in South India last year, further showing our commitment to our interest in development in India. With that in mind, I would like to invite our esteemed guests that have joined us today. To begin with, we would like to welcome our host for today, Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO, Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE Limited, formerly known as the Bombay Stock Exchange. Thank you for joining us today, sir. We'd like to thank Mr. Deepak Parekh, who could not be with us, but has been a guiding light for our business here in India. We miss you, sir, and we hope you're watching. I'd like to invite Mr. Ankur Gupta, Managing Partner, India Real Estate, Brookfield Asset Management, Mr. Alok Agarwal, Chief Executive Officer, Brook Prop Management Services Private Limited, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Sharma, Chief Financial Officer, Brook Prop Management Services Limited, Mr. Shailesh Haribhakti, Member of the Board, Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. Thank you for being here, sir. Mr. Anurag Bhatnagar, CEO, Leela Palaces Hotels and Resorts. We'd also like to extend a very warm welcome to our advisors who have played an integral part in the success of Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. We have with us today Mr. Sanjay Shah, Country Head, Morgan Stanley India Private Limited, Mr. Sundareswaran S., Managing Director, Morgan Stanley India Private Limited, Mr. Arvind Vashisht, Managing Director, Head of Equity Capital Markets, Citigroup Global Markets, Mr. Hitendra Dave, Head of Global Banking and Markets, HSBC Securities and Capital Markets India Private Limited, Mr. Chirag Negandhi, MD and Co-CEO, Axis Capital, Mr. Nipun Goyal, Head of Investment Banking, IIFL Securities, Mr. Jayashankar Venkatraman, Senior Managing Director and Head of Equity Capital Markets, Kotak Mahindra Capital Company Limited, Mr. Prateek Invar, Executive Vice President and Head of Investment Banking for SBI Capital Markets, Mr. Sanjeev Krishnan, Chairman, PwC India, Mr. Jay Gandhi, Partner, Shardul Amarchand Mangaldas, Mr. Nikhil Naredi, Partner, Shardul Amarchand Mangaldas, Mr. Vijay Parthasarathi, Partner, Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, and Mr. Anshul Jain, MD, Cushman & Wakefield. Without further ado, we'd like to start the ceremonial lamp lighting process to get this process underway. For that, could I please welcome Mr. Ankur Gupta, Mr. Alok Agarwal, Mr. Sanjeev Sharma, and Mr. Rachit Kothari, and Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan on stage, please.
सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय.
Thank you, Mr. Chauhan. Thank you, Ankur. Thank you, Alok. Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you, Rajat. I'd like to now invite Mr. Hitendra Dave, Head of Global Banking and Markets for HSBC, to please open the ceremony.
Hi, a very good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. On behalf of Brookfield India and all the BRLMs, it's my great privilege to open the ceremony for the listing of the Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. I think all listings are special, right? They're special for the issuer, they're special for the bankers, they're special for the exchanges, they're special, of course, for the investors. But within that also, I think this is a particularly special occasion, okay? And why I say so is simply because, while we'll talk about Brookfield later, and Rohan did mention in his opening comments the background to Brookfield, but this is a huge company, and it's chosen India as the only country outside its home country to have a public listing. I think if this is not a statement of confidence and commitment to the country, I don't know what is. So I think that's why I would think it's a particularly special ceremony. As I mentioned, Brookfield is a globally very, very large asset manager. It's a very large owner of real estate across the world. And the assets under management are in excess of $200 billion, to $20 billion or so. But it's extraordinary what we have seen them do in India. And Rohan mentioned a little bit about that. I don't think it was a name 10 years back any of us in India knew, right? I mean, unless you were really into reading up a lot about financial literature. But to think about what they have done here in the last 10 years, Rohan alluded to some transaction that they've announced in South India, but it's extraordinary the amount of real estate they already own. It's extraordinary the amount of cash flow generating assets they already own in India. I must say that when I meet some people in North Block, I do mention that, let us Indians also own some of the cash flow generating assets. Otherwise, we'll just be paying dividend and coupons to everybody in Montreal, Quebec, and Toronto, and then in Singapore, etc. But I think it's great to see this. Just a little bit of comment on what, they already own, Brookfield already owns 42 million square feet in India. This is a very large number, and the number of years is, I think 7, maybe 10, but just generally in that ballpark zone. This is quite an extraordinary achievement, and because it's happened in front of our eyes, maybe we are not giving it the due weightage. So to be here, to see it logically follow through into listing is a great day for me and for all the BRLMs and everybody around here. I think Ankur regularly uses the term farm to table strategy, and I think that sets out the agenda for Brookfield in India. I think if you think about what that really means, it's a very large ambition statement here, and I really hope all of us to be partners of Brookfield as they go through their growth ambition in the country. I think on the listing per se, I want to call out the extraordinary effort and hard work put in by a whole bunch of people, led obviously by Ankur, but Rohan, Rachit, Alok, and a whole lot of people who might be here or might be in the Brookfield offices. Today is the culmination of their efforts, and this day belongs to you, gentlemen. Congratulations to you. Just talking a little bit more about the REIT, because the REIT unit listing is what we are here for. This is really a long-term vehicle for Brookfield. I'm aware of that from my own discussions for the CRE assets. And I think the other thing to call out is that this is a REIT where Brookfield is the sponsor, the owner, and the manager. And therefore, the unit holders actually get to experience the Brookfield experience and the global governance and the global approach to management of these assets. This is one of the standout facets amongst the various standout facets, the property, the quality, the geographical dispersion, etc. And obviously, the commitment that it brings. In terms of the details of the REIT, the IPO size was or is 3,800 crores, and we had about 1,710 crores coming in by way of anchor investors. We had the who's who of domestic funds, insurers, global yield-seeking investors, the long-duration capital providers who have participated in this deal. The main book of 2,090 crores was subscribed 4.7x in the institutional category and 11.5x in the non-institutional category, with resulting in aggregate bids against an issue size of 2,090 crores of more than 16,000 crores or so. So it's a great outcome, and we are very happy to be part of this, and we are very happy that with the management team and the bankers and other partners in the process, we could convey the inherent strengths and potential of this investment opportunity. Very obviously, the success of the REIT is at a macro level a reflection of the great potential that the commercial real estate sector offers for India. It's also, I think, time to acknowledge the great support the regulatory environment has provided in terms of the way the guidelines have evolved, and most recently being what in the budget we got further relaxations in terms of FPIs being permitted to participate. It's obviously reflecting Brookfield's long-term commitment to India, and the fact that, as I mentioned, because they'll be the owner and the manager, the scope to add fresh assets. The properties per se chosen, the 14 million square feet in the portfolio, the quality of the tenants that it has, etc., and obviously the careful selection of assets. I have to say my team has prepared a very long speech, so I'm wondering whether I am supposed to be the star attraction here, but I think I'll sort of try and wrap up by saying that I think this is just the first step in the long journey as Brookfield builds their business in India. I'm sure with the pedigree that they have and the track record, the long-term view, this REIT will create tremendous shareholder value over the medium to long term. I thank all stakeholders. I thank the Brookfield management, the Brookfield team, all other BRLMs, and everybody else who are gathered here today. And thank you for inviting me for this opening comments.
Thank you, sir, for those kind words. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all our investors who have shown immense faith and confidence in us. We hope to repay your faith and confidence, but once again, on behalf of Brookfield India Real Estate Trust, a very warm thank you to all of you. Next up, I'd like to invite Mr. Ankur Gupta, Managing Partner, India Real Estate, to please say a few words.
Thank you, Rohan. It's tough to follow Hitendra's opening remarks, but I'll make it a genuine effort today. Thank you, Mr. Chauhan, for giving us the stage today and for opening up the BSE for our maiden listing, as Hitendra said, outside of our home markets. I would also like to say one thing. India is a home market for Brookfield now. Having invested $20 billion, and as I like to always say, with a farm-to-table strategy, with a team of more than 5,000 people managing our business across the country, with our investments team now more than 50 investment professionals across real estate, infrastructure, credit, special situations, renewable power, and so many other assets. I think Brookfield would count India as its home, and we are very glad that India has accepted us as such. Today is a momentous day for Brookfield's journey in emerging markets, and particularly for our business in India. We are fortunate that it's happening on the very auspicious day of Basant Panchami. As a day, it stands for harvesting a lot of hard work, which all of you, along with us, along with our teams, have put in. But it also stands for inclusion. It also stands for participation. And I'm very happy that our regulator has opened up the doors of a very important sector, investing in real assets through REITs and InvITs to investors globally. And I'm very thankful to all of them that they've chosen to invest with us and trust us with their capital. We hope to be long-term partners to all of our investors and many more to come in future. Thank you, everyone. For those of you who are present with us today, and for many others who've supported the growth of our business in the past decade in India, thank you, gratitude, and gratefulness on behalf of the entire Brookfield team here in India and globally. Hitendra and Rohan talked about the tremendous response that our REIT has received in the markets. So I won't go into that today, but I would like to reiterate what our REIT stands for. Firstly, an unwavering commitment to corporate governance and management. And while doing that, secondly and most importantly, we will always be upholding the lender and shareholder interests, and we'll keep them at the forefront. It is very important for us to keep a robust capital structure. It is very important for us to show returns and to show shareholder value preservation along the way. Thirdly, while our teams have an unrelenting desire to create value for all stakeholders, we will do that along with keeping a very important target at the forefront towards sustainability of our environment and in the communities that we operate. Few examples being green offices, clean energy, and making our premises universally accessible for people with disabilities. We've taken that as a pledge for our business, and we hope to follow through on that. As we always say, at our property, our hardscaping and softscaping always follows peoplescaping. To conclude, our expectations from Brookfield India Real Estate Trust is to generate returns that are predictable, repeatable, and forever growing, and grow this business organically and inorganically while keeping a solid capital structure in mind. Thank you very much. Thank you again, and I look forward to this journey together.
Thank you, Ankur, for those inspiring words. I'd like to thank the BSE as well, once again, for opening up the stock exchange today for us. And on that note, I'd like to invite Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan to say a few words. Thank you, sir.
Shri Ankur Gupta, Managing Partner, Head of India Real Estate, Brookfield Asset Management. Shri Alok Agarwal, Chief Executive Officer, Brookprop Management Services. Shri Shailesh Haribhakti, a Doyen of Indian Markets. Other friends from the fraternity, good morning to everyone here at the BSE International Convention Center as we celebrate the REIT listing of Brookfield India Real Estate Trust REIT portfolio comprising of Grade A commercial assets located in 4 major cities, Mumbai, Gurugram, Noida, and Calcutta. We are extremely happy to host Brookfield Asset Management, which has nearly $17 billion portfolios across real estate, infrastructure, renewable power, and private equity in India. This is the third IPO by a REIT and comes at a time when participation of retail investors in equity markets in India and around the world has increased following pandemic-induced lockdowns. Domestic benchmarks like the BSE Sensex 2 are scaling new peaks. The introduction of REITs in India was first proposed in 2007, with initial draft guidelines being released by the Securities and Exchange Board of India in December 2007. Since then, there have been amendments and fresh introduction of guidelines for this segment. This continued development led to us identifying 10 critical success factors for REITs in the country in 2016, covering 3 key aspects: regulation, market performance, and investors. Overall, the government as well as SEBI have been quite proactive when it comes to easing the REIT route for investors in India. The guidelines have been constantly amended to pave the way for further REIT listings. Recently, the budget proposed easing of InvIT REITs, which will help in getting new REITs and attracting fresh investments in the real estate sector. These steps are good news for investors who have small appetite and yet want to invest in otherwise highly cost-intensive commercial real estate market. With REITs, they can literally take a small bite of the large Indian CRE pie. Since the units of REITs are listed on the stock exchanges, they also provide the liquidity to investors in an otherwise largely illiquid asset class. The BSE platform aims to not only provide liquidity, but also to bring efficiency and transparency in the price discovery mechanism of REITs. BSE is India's leading and most diverse exchange, providing an efficient and transparent market for trading in a bouquet of products like equities, debt, currencies, commodities, interest rates, mutual funds, insurance, stock lending, borrowing, REITs, InvITs, and many other products. It has played a prominent role in developing the Indian capital markets by being Asia's first exchange India's first universal exchange and the fastest stock exchange in the world with speed of 6 microseconds. BSE puts forward a strong and robust platform for its 6.1 crore investors to trade in. I think today it has become 6.2 crore investors. Daily we are adding close to 50,000 to 70,000 investors in the COVID times. And it provides a highly secure and reliable environment that offers enhanced liquidity, diversity of participants, innovative technology, and trustworthy clearing services. We are confident that by listing the REIT on BSE, Brookfield will not only be able to enhance its visibility and profile, but also broaden its investor base, which we hope will support its business expansion plans. We expect this momentum to regain in the near future, which would encourage more participants to enter the REIT market and improve the fund flow in the sector. The issue of Brookfield of rupees 3,800 crore was oversubscribed 7.7 times, non-institutional category by 11.18 times, and QIB by 4.48 times. Despite the recent weakened sentiment around commercial real estate, a diversified portfolio of grade A assets with strong rental collections, and as demonstrated by the Brookfield REIT, finds favor with Indian investors. This listing will augur well for future investments in asset-backed financial products and commercial real estate in India. I congratulate the management of Brookfield and also its merchant bankers, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Citigroup, HSBC, Ambit, Axis, IIFL, JM, JP Morgan, Kotak Mahindra, SBI, and everyone else involved with this issue for a successful listing as they forge forward in their business. India's real estate industry witnessed a massive shift in the past decade from traditional finance to an era of structured finance, private equity, and public offerings. Going forward, we are confident that the REIT landscape in India is likely to further evolve to include varied asset classes in the medium to long term. BSE looks forward to continuing being Brookfield's preferred fundraising platform as it expands in India. We look forward to a long and fruitful relationship in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those kind words, sir. Mr. Chauhan, we won't let you go just yet. To mark this occasion, the BSE has very kindly shown a gesture of appreciation towards Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. And there's a ceremonial presentation of a memento. So I would like to request Ankur and Alok to please come onto the dais, as well as Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chauhan, and apologies for the delay. I'd like to invite Mr. Sanjay Shah, Country Head, Morgan Stanley India Private Limited, to please say a few words next. Thank you, sir.
Hi, good morning, everyone. At the outset, I must say this place invokes a lot of nostalgia, having worked over here in this building for a number of years before moving out. So thank you to the Bombay Stock Exchange. Thank you, Ashish, for allowing us and for the privilege to be here today. Our prior speakers, Ashish, Ankur, Hitendra, have summarized everything very well. So I would just like to say I really, on behalf of Morgan Stanley and all the stakeholders, including the book runners, echo those words and echo those sentiments. So a big congratulations to the entire Brookfield's family. As we all know, Brookfield is one of the world's largest real estate operator with more than 550 million square feet of real estate under management. And it is exciting to see them list their assets in India, India being one of the only countries outside of the US and outside of the North Americas where we are seeing such significant presence and continuing strength of their operations. The way we look upon it, if India is to continue to evolve as the preferred technology and processing hub, as the preferred manufacturing hub, India would need quality commercial real estate, and Brookfield, with its vast repertoire and marquee assets and growth plans in India, offers a tremendous window to that growth. India needs new listings, India needs new market cap creation, India needs new asset classes for its investors. And it is especially exciting to see the widespread participation that we have seen, not only among the overseas investors, which we have seen in the past, but also among the India-based mutual funds, insurance companies, family offices, and retail investors, besides, as I said, of course, the global funds in this offering. I would like to take this opportunity again to wish Ankur, Alok, Sanjeev, Rohan, Rachit, and the entire Brookfields family all the best, and look forward to partnering with them as they grow and broaden their footprint in India. I think it is a momentous beginning, but the best is yet to come. And with that, congratulations again, and all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shah. Could I please invite Chirag Negandhi, MD and co-CEO Axis Capital, to please say a few words. Thanks, Chirag.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. With all the previous speakers and the points they've covered, there's very little for me to add. I'm just going to make a couple points. The first being thank you Ashish for opening up the BSE for us. This is for any company that is going public, this has to be the spot where they would like to do this. Also want to congratulate Ankur, Rohan, and the rest of the Brookfield India team and the Brookfield team for the tremendous success of this IPO. 8x oversubscription is a phenomenal response in these times. There were other options for people, and let not anybody take that away. This has been an excellent response. It is all thanks only to the hard work that you all have put in. So a big round of applause to you guys. This is a phenomenal performance. I'm just, everything has been spoken about, all of the assets that Brookfield manages globally and how big this means for them in India, etc. I'm only going to say now that your journey begins now as a listed company, which now puts the onus back onto you guys to perform, to make sure that the governance standards that you all stand for globally are brought to India as well, and are continued to create wealth for the investors, both family offices, smaller, large investors, all of those that participated in the IPO, and others that will join, and become investors over a period of time. So the pressure's back on you now. Congratulations again to the whole team and to all of the BRLMs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chirag. As we now move ahead to 10 o'clock and the key moment in our listing, it's very apt and fitting that I'd like to call upon Mr. Alok Agarwal, CEO of Brookprop India, to please come and say a few words before we hear the gong.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. The listing of this REIT, which is India's first 100% institutionally managed REIT, is indeed a momentous occasion and very important day for Brookfield India office business. It seems like yesterday when some of us were managing our first set of office campuses about 6 years back. And this 6 years, we have grown exponentially, and we have presence in major gateway cities of India. The faith of our tenants and their long-term association with us has motivated us to innovate continuously and offer them superior workplace experiences. With every new acquisition and every new development, we have set new standards, new benchmarks in quality, safety, and convenience for our tenants, and will continue to do so. We thank them for their continued support. I also take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been this part of journey with us. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alok. So that completes the round of speaking, and as we approach 10 o'clock and the momentous occasion of listing of Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. I'd just like to take this opportunity once more to thank our BRLMs, our advisors, our investors, and all the dignitaries here today who have joined us. Thank you very much for your warm guidance, advice, and support throughout this journey that has led us to come to this day where we are able to list Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. For the gong ringing ceremony, could I please invite on stage Mr. Ankur Gupta, Mr. Alok Agarwal, Mr. Sanjeev Sharma, Shri Chauhan, and Rachit Kothari, please. Thank you, Mr. Chauhan. Thank you, Alok. Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you, Ankur. Thank you, Rachit. I'd just like to take this moment to congratulate the entire Brookfield team, our BRLMs, our advisors, and just take this opportunity to please give ourselves a very long, warm round of applause for Brookfield India Real Estate Trust. Thank you. On behalf of Brookfield Asset Management, could I please request Rachit Kothari to come on stage and say a few words? Thank you.
Thanks, Rohan. Momentous day for our business in India as we debut in the Indian capital markets, which Ankur emphasized. On behalf of all the people from Brookfield Asset Management, Sridhar, Naval, Aditya, Dev, Ankur, and our entire team, I would like to extend my gratitude to everyone in this room and many more who couldn't be here today. You all have been very instrumental in bringing this vision to life. Speaking on behalf of everyone, this listing is a testament to the young and motivated team that Brookfield has been able to create across the platforms. This is a strong start to a multi-decade story, like Ankur said, and we are very excited and proud of what we've been able to build and achieve, with a firm belief that we'll be able to achieve many more such milestones with the support of our investors and our advisors. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachit. Could I please invite Mr. Shailesh Haribhakti, member of the board, Brookfield India Real Estate Trust, to please give the vote of thanks for the ceremony. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, my task is to objectively present a vote of thanks. To my mind, the biggest thanks must go to the investors who have made this issue such a big success story. The second thanks I would like to give to is to all the tenants who are occupying the fantastic spaces that Brookfield actually makes available to them. I would like to thank Brookfield for giving us as independent directors the opportunity to really perform the task of good governance. And the one thing I would like to emphasize, and which strikes me deeply, is their soul in actually implementing the ESG philosophy. They are environmentally responsible, socially engaged, and follow purposeful governance for all stakeholders. And for an independent director, there can be nothing more worthy of thanks than that opportunity to participate in high-quality governance. So for that, and that perhaps is the assurance to both the tenants and the investors that you are in safe hands. But none of this would have been possible without the book-running lead managers and the extraordinary support that all of you brought to this issue. It's an amazing issue to have 16,000 crores being committed to an issue at the time that it was a very delicate time, 1st of February, day of the budget. But who ever thought that this budget would give wing to InvITs and REITs like no other budget had ever given? And so thank you, every one of you in this room who have made this entire thing possible. Above all, I would like to thank my friend Ashish. This International Convention Center of BSE is a place where all of us feel so proud of the institution that BSE has made itself. Congratulations, Ashish, for doing this wonderful service to India, and thank you for having this ceremony here. With that, I'd like to wish everybody a great day. All the best.
Thank you so much for those kind words, Mr. Haribhakti. They mean a lot to the company and to us. Thank you very much again. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the ceremony for this morning. Thank you once again for coming here and supporting Brookfield India Real Estate Trust and the team. Thank you very much. Refreshments are to my left, which is to your right. Please, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Oh yeah?